Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with our new chapter, which is in regarding to the Chinese civilization. And in this chapter, we are going to learn about various important features about the existence, the starting, the origin, location, and various important things that brought about the development of the Chinese civilization, and from where it started, and at the present scenario where it belongs to. Now, to know about it, first we'll go through the actual location and origin of the Chinese civilization. I have jotted down the features of the location and other details in point wise where we can understand and learn it in a proper way or in a simple way. Now, see, first of all, the geographical location has to be understood where the Chinese civilization located. Now, it is said that towards the eastern part of the civilization was the Pacific Ocean, which still in the present time it exists. In the southern part, we have the Himalayas that you can make out in the down lower part of the Chinese country. Then the important existence which all of us we have heard, studied or know, that is the Great Wall of China, that is on the northern part of the Chinese civilization, or it still exists in the present modern time. And the importance of two very important rivers that existed in the Chinese civilization were one which was known as Wangho and another one as Yangtze. These were the two important and very most important sources of water supply or the river that existed in the Chinese civilization. Now, Wangho was also regarded as the sorrow of China. Why it was known as the sorrow of China? In a simple way, it means that this Wangho river was an unexpected kind of river. The characteristic features of this river was in such a manner that it changed drastically its courses, and due to this it brought a lot of destruction by flooding most of the areas of the Chinese civilization, and it destroyed a lot of lives, agricultural activities, and the activities of the people of the Chinese civilization during that time got halted or were stopped because of this flooding of the Wangho river, which happened or which used to happen unexpectedly. That is why it was known as the sorrow of the China. Then, to understand this, how this Chinese civilization started or which particular people had existed, like when we studied about the Indus Valley civilization, we studied there that the Aryans that who came from central part of Asia, they got settled down in certain part of Indian, northeastern or northern part of the Indian territory, and their existence later on expanded. Same way, there was a dynasty which was known as the Shang dynasty. This was the first dynasty that got established in the Chinese civilization, and there the Chinese civilization started to flourish. Then the ages from where it started and this belonged to. Now it is said that the Chinese civilization belonged from the age of bronze till the iron age, and it is still continuing in the present times. So these are most probably some of the simple and basic important location and origin details that states about the characteristics of the Chinese civilization. Now, in the next stage, in this, we are going to learn about the important characteristics. Now, as we have studied, as we are going through, when we are going through the Indus Valley civilization, we had learned various important characteristics like town planning, religious background, then the agricultural occupational activities and other important details. In the same way, here also, we are going to study about certain important characteristics that existed in the during the Chinese civilization. Number one, the same way we are going to learn about the town planning. How did the town planning existed? It was said that earlier, when the civilization started, it had a very simpler kind of structural background or setup of the civilization. But as the urbanization of the Wangho River or the areas of the Wangho region started, or the Wangho Valley started, mostly about in the Neolithic age. In the Neolithic age, then it was considered that there are a lot of development or a lot of progress that started to be brought about. There are a lot of construction, there are a lot of ideas that developed into the minds of people, and they changed the structural look of the Chinese civilization. Now, they also practiced or they also had few religious forms that existed during the time, and it was known as the Feng Shui. Feng Shui was kind of religious activities that existed during the earlier times of the Chinese civilization. Later on, that changed, or that structure or that form started changing as the new concept and ideas started developing in the civilization. It was said that why these things were made, these religious ideas or developments were made, so that there could be a good harmonial setup or a structure of good settlement can be made, so that people would live in a better way and in a prosperous way. The next important thing is the first city that was constructed during that time. It was said that the first city that was constructed during the time was known as the Zhengzhou city, and it was been developed by the Zhou dynasty that existed during the time, or that ruled during the time of the Neolithic age period. Now, the inner construction of the roads, how it was, what was the structure of it. It was said that most of the roads were parallel to each other, and whenever they crossed each other, they crossed each other at a 90-degree. That means what it was almost like a crossing. Wherever there was, whenever they used to, each one road crossed with one another, it used to be like a cross. That is called as the 90-degree or the right angle kind of crossings that existed during the time of the civilization or the development of the civilization, or the structure of the roads built during the earlier times. The next is about the inner construction of cities, or the way of building the or programming the city construction. Now, this whole system or the construction or civilization's development of structural building were of three important parts. The number one was known as the inner city, second was known as the outer city, and the audience hall. They had their own significances. Now, inner city was most probably those areas where most of the royal families or the higher categories or status of families used to live together. Next was the outer city, which was just near to the inner city, on the outer part of the inner city, where it was considered was done for the normal people or the common people or the citizens to live around. And there were few audience hall also. Now, these audience halls were said to be built for various different purposes. It can be for the purpose of bringing about people together for some religious activities, or any special kind of gatherings in one single place by the kingdom, or for important announcement that were to be done. So these audience halls were used for various different purposes. Now, it was said that each of these cities that were built inside the civilization, it was well walled, means it was protected by a construction of wall around it, and each of the inner city was connected with the outer city with an opening of a gate, a huge gate that connected between the inner city and the outer city. And the outer city also had the walls surrounded around it, and that is why that was made for better protection and better view of the enemies if they were attacked by the outsiders. These huge walls were made in different places. Now, that is the reason these walls were also known as defense walls, where soldiers used to stand there on the top of the walls, having some kind of structural houses from where they guarded or saw long distance places, and they used to take care of their kingdoms or the civilization. Now, these defense walls were created with a very unique feature that was known as the moats. And these moats were very special and very important, where you find the construction being made in a wall format, and every intermediate places you have a house kind of structural building that was made there, where the soldiers used to rest or they used to be there, standing there and keeping a watch on both sides of the wall, that is the inner part of the kingdom as well as the outer part of the kingdom. So now the next topic that we are going to discuss is about houses, and in this now the next important structures are that we are going to study in this chapter is about the houses, how it was made, the architectural structure of certain important things that were built during the Chinese civilization, which has historical importance till now. Like we are going to study a small brief details about the Great Wall of China. Then we are going to study about what were the important dynasties who developed during this period of time, and the society, what was the structure of society, then the occupation that the people during this time used to go along with, and the important art and craft or important handicraft that developed during this time, or the discovery of few important or significant things that were done by the Chinese civilization, that which exist in the present or modern times also, and it has a lot of scientific as well as humanly benefits that are being created during that earlier time, and still it exists now also. So this is all for the today's class. We are going to continue with our next class in the coming online classes.